Hello and welcome to a Testtech-Solutions how-to video. In this video, we're going to discuss how to set up a connection with a Modbus TCP device and then display the data on the screen. So once you've launched your CommDAQ software and installed your license key, you're ready to get going. Now, what I've done is I've set up a Modbus TCP device on my computer to simulate any sort of device out in the field, whether it's a PLC or a drive or whatever you've got, just to kind of walk through the example. So once the software is up and running, it's going to look like this, and we're going to go set up a connection. So we're going to do our configuration, connection settings, and we're going to create a new connection. So in this case, we're going to create a demo, okay, and then we're going to select the type of connection. So this is going to be a Modbus TCP. All right, and once we've got both of those in there, we can click the create button. All right, now our connection's been created. But what we have to do at this point is also create the tags we want to read from the device, or the addresses. So we're going to set up a test point here. Test point 1. All right, and once we've entered the name, that's all we've got to do to create it. And then we're going to go into the settings. So under the basic settings here, we've got your scale factor. So you can take a percent value and change it into an engineering units. For example, you've got a 0 to 1 value that represents a pressure, and you can change that to 0 to 1 is equal to 0 to 500 psi, for example. In this case, we don't need to modify any of that, but we're going to set up the address for the Modbus device. I know it's address 99 because I configured it. It's a holding register, and it's a 16-bit integer. So once we've got all that set, we're going to click apply and done. And we're going to create a second tag, test point 2. All right. And then we're going to go to the settings again. We're going to change our or it's going to be address 100. It'll be the other tag we're reading. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to change this back to group 1 so that we read both tags 99 and 100 that we just created as a single request, as opposed to doing multiple requests. Now you'd use multiple requests. Let's say you had a group of alarms in one location you wanted to read, and a group of analogs you wanted to read a different location. You could set up multiple groups to do multiple requests. This is also a holding register and a 16-bit integer. So we're going to apply again and click done. All right, I'm going to change my poll rate because I know I can get my data faster to 1/4 of a second, or 250 milliseconds. The host address, now this would be the IP address of the device you wanted to talk to. In this case, it's local on my computer, so I'm going to use the local IP address. The port, this is the standard Modbus port, but you could configure it for whatever you want. And then the unit number is a kind of a holdover from old Modbus serial stuff, and we're not going to need that for this connection. So once we're ready, we're going to set our poll active, and you can see at that point our data started filling in. So our file here is getting bigger, which means we know we're adding data to it. We can see when our last sample, the last valid response we got from the device. We can see when we first started requesting data and what the current value being read in is. So this is a good example and shows you how you can tell right away if you set your connection up right, if you're reading data back. Once we get all that created, we're going to click apply, and then we're going to be done. And now we're going to add some data to the chart. So we're going to go in here and open up pen settings and demo for our connection. This is one we created. Test point 1. We're going to change our visibility to on. All right, we can change the color if we want. In this case, we'll leave it there. We'll make our line width just a little bit thicker. I know that the value that I'm simulating right now in my Modbus TCP device goes from 0 to 100, and it's just a random number generator. So all we'll see is a bunch of numbers going up and down, and we click apply again. And what it does is it's going to draw our tag in. And what you can see here is that it doesn't start drawing adding the data when I click apply. It also draws all of the data we recorded. So if you've had this thing running for 2 hours before you click apply, it's going to put 2 hours worth of data on the screen. Then we're going to add our other tag here. Let's make this one, we'll make this one red. Okay, we'll make this line, let's make this line a little thicker. And I know that this tag is 0 to 100 as well, but let's scale it a little bit different so we can see it on a different scale. Then we're going to click apply. Okay, and then now you can see here's our data coming in. It's just random numbers between 0 and 100, but that's really as easy as it is if you know the IP address of the device you want to connect to and some tags you want to read. It can take you less than 2 minutes to set up a valid connection. You can see here we're still reading valid data. Here's our legend that shows the current value being read. Thank you for watching our video.